Welcome, friends, to the Probably the News broadcast. Recently, Vice President Harris was gracious enough to explain in layman's terms the war between Russia and Ukraine. Today we have a very special guest that can break it down even further for us. Let's turn it over to our foreign desk and have our expert, Karl Childers, give us all of the details. Welcome, Karl.
All right, Dan. Much obliged having me on your program. I can help you learn it if I don't give out first.
Thank you, Karl. Let's get involved and please explain to all of us what is going on in these unprecedented times.
You don't need to think about thoughts like that. You're just a boy. You need to think about good thoughts. There's plenty of time for the other when you're grown. But since you asked, I'll give it a shot.
Thank you, Karl.
You see, there's this country in Europe or Asia or some sort called Russia. I guess it's a big one. They got themselves a big red flag with a Kaiser blade on it. Some calls it a sling blade. I calls it a Kaiser blade. Anyhow, they took a little liking to a little bitty country next door called Ukraine and figured they'd have their way with it. Just a little country, wasn't no bigger than a squirrel. Anyhow, Russia took their Kaiser blade to their little neighbor in Ukraine, and they just saw red. Meanwhile, there's another big country across the ocean that's run by a feller called Brandon. Some people calls him Joe, I calls him Brandon. Anyhow, Brandon decided that he didn't want his country to make no gas or groceries anymore. Then everybody started hollering, "What'd you kill my biscuits for? What'd you kill my biscuits for?" Well, the fellow that runs Russia saw that Brandon's country ain't got no gas in it, so he figured he'd go to the little country that wasn't no bigger than a squirrel and take all their biscuits and gas and mustard. Well, the folks in Ukraine didn't like that much and decided they wanted to keep their biscuits. Well, I guess that made Brandon plumb mad, so he said it's going to get more expensive for us over here to get our gas and biscuits and mustard. I reckon that's about it.
Thank you, Karl, for your clear insights into this very complex issue.
All right, then.
Thank you all for listening, and be sure to tune in next week when we discuss economics and real estate with Nicolas Cage.